Advisor groups its guidance into categories that map to daily concerns: cost, security, and reliability. Cost recommendations look for idle resources, over-provisioned instances, and opportunities to commit to discounted plans. Security items align with identity, encryption, and exposure checks to close obvious gaps quickly. Reliability insights focus on availability zones, backup posture, and restart behavior to keep services steady. These categories matter because they mirror how teams think during planning and incident reviews. A team can pick a category per session and drive a focused set of changes to done. By organizing findings this way, Advisor shortens the path from reading to doing. Beyond those core areas, Advisor also surfaces performance and operational excellence insights that improve day-to-day experience. Performance guidance flags noisy neighbors, storage throttling, or query patterns that push latency higher than needed. Operational excellence speaks to maintainability, recommending auto-scale settings, consistent monitoring, and configuration health. The practical value is momentum. Small, specific fixes compound into more predictable systems. Picture enabling autoscale on a web tier, which flattens response times and reduces weekend paging. Or shifting a database to a tier that matches its real workload rather than its peak from 6 months ago. These adjustments are modest, but they add up to smoother weeks. Prioritizing recommendations by impact and effort keeps optimization realistic and repeatable. Impact measures how much the change could save or protect, while effort reflects time, risk, and coordination. A helpful pattern is to label items as quick wins, medium lifts, and strategic refactors, then schedule accordingly. Quick wins might include enabling soft delete on storage or deleting unused snapshots. Medium lifts could resize virtual machines or consolidate disks. Strategic refactors might adopt availability zones or restructure network paths. This framing prevents teams from chasing tiny savings while ignoring high-value work. It also helps leaders allocate the right people to the right tasks. Noise suppression and risk tracking turn Advisor from a stream of alerts into a curated plan. Not every recommendation fits every context, so the ability to dismiss or postpone findings with justification is essential. Suppressing a low-value suggestion prevents recurring distractions and signals that you have made a conscious decision. Equally important is documenting accepted risk when you choose not to implement a fix, such as maintaining a public endpoint for a short-term partner connection. This record supports audits and helps future reviewers understand why a deviation exists. Clear notes transform temporary decisions into accountable, time-bounded exceptions. Automation scripts convert guidance into consistent action. For many recommendations, you can attach a script or runbook that applies the fix the same way every time. This makes changes auditable and reduces human error during busy periods. For example, a right-sizing script can evaluate performance counters, confirm thresholds, then adjust virtual machine sizes during a maintenance window. A cleanup script can find unattached network interfaces and disks, confirm ownership tags, and remove them safely. Over time, these scripts form a library tied to Advisor categories, so a recommendation is not just a suggestion, but a repeatable procedure. Automation turns advice into outcomes. Pairing Advisor with budgets and policies creates a guardrail system that prevents regressions. Budgets and alerts warn when cost trends deviate, catching issues that Advisor may surface later as findings. Azure Policy enforces preventative rules, such as disallowing untagged resources or blocking public endpoints, so fewer problems reach production. Together, they close the loop. Policies reduce new drift, budgets catch emerging trends, and Advisor suggests concrete fixes for what remains. A practical rhythm is to review budgets weekly, Advisor bi-weekly, and policy compliance monthly. The cadence keeps financial and technical signals aligned. Reviewing reservations and savings plans alongside right-sizing opportunities produces compounding savings. Right-sizing reduces waste by picking the correct size, while reservations and savings plans discount predictable baseline usage. Start by establishing the right size based on recent representative performance data, then commit to a term for that steady footprint. This avoids locking in overspending and makes discounts more accurate. The same logic applies to databases and analytics services with provisioned capacity. When right-sizing and commitments work together, you gain both correctness and predictability, which finance teams appreciate and engineers feel in quieter alert channels. Cleaning idle resources and orphaned disks is a reliable, low-risk way to recover costs. idle compute, unattached disks, stale snapshots, and unused public IP addresses often hide in large estates. Advisor flags many of these, but you strengthen the process with tagging rules that require owners and lifetimes. A small scenario illustrates the point. A development project ends, but its premium disks remain. A monthly cleanup job finds untagged or unattached disks over a certain age, emails the listed owners, and removes them after a grace period. The action is simple, the savings are steady, and the habit prevents slow leakages that add up. Aligning recommendations to landing zones ensures optimization never breaks design principles. Landing zones define network boundaries, identity policies, and resource hierarchies. When a recommendation suggests a change, you validate it against those guardrails before applying. For example, a cost suggestion to consolidate resources must still respect network segmentation and region strategy. This step keeps local improvements from undermining global architecture. It also accelerates approvals because reviewers can compare changes to documented patterns rather than debating preferences. Alignment preserves coherence as you tune, so the environment stays both efficient and sound. Tag improvements to clarify ownership and make progress visible. When you implement a fix, update, or add tags that reflect the responsible team, the change date, and any renewal window, such as a reservation term end. These tags feed reports that show which groups drive the most savings and which areas need coaching. They also help future maintainers understand why a resource looks the way it does. A tag like optimized true, optimized by, platform, optimized on, 2025-10-18 turns invisible work into discoverable history. Ownership tags convert abstract accountability into something the platform can query. A monthly optimization ceremony institutionalizes the work so it survives busy seasons. The ceremony has a clear agenda: review advisors' top findings, validate budget signals, confirm policy drift, and assign automation tasks. Keep the meeting focused by limiting the list to what the team can act on within the month. Capture decisions, accepted risks, and owners in a shared log. Close with a small retrospective on last month's changes, which saved money, which reduced alerts, and which created follow-on work. This cadence turns optimization from a side project into a reliable practice. Measuring results and iterating continuously keeps motivation high and guides future efforts. Track a few simple metrics: monthly cost avoided, number of findings resolved, time to remediate, and count of suppressed items with justification. Correlate technical changes with outcome signals, such as reduced paging, lower error rates, or faster deployments. Share a brief monthly summary so leaders and engineers see the connection between work and benefit. When a change does not pay off, note it and adjust the selection criteria. Iteration matters as much as action. It teaches the organization which levers truly move outcomes. A culture of ongoing optimization treats Advisor as a partner rather than a one-time audit. The service surfaces opportunities, your process ranks them, applies automation, and proves the result with budgets and telemetry. Over time, the backlog shrinks, new drift slows, and confidence grows because every decision is visible and repeatable. In that culture, teams do not wait for renewal season or a surprise bill to ask hard questions. They adjust continuously, keep records tidy, and align improvements with landing zones and governance. The result is not only lower spend, but steadier systems and happier teams who know exactly why each change was made.